Hello everyone, this is Kevin from the Austin Public Library bringing you Trivia Tuesday. Normally we've been putting these questions and answers online for you to do at your own pace, but this week we had some interesting answers and tricky questions, so I decided to do a video so I could talk about them with you. If you've already done this trivia, come and see if the answers are right and maybe learn why, and if you haven't yet, you can do it along with us. So without further ado, this is Animals Aren't Trivial. Our first question is, what word is used to describe a group of wolves? The answer is a pack. Wolves are very social animals and they tend to gather in big social groups. There's this idea around that there's an alpha wolf in every pack that sort of bosses everyone else around, but that's a myth. Wolves have very complicated social relationships, just like people. Number 2. How many legs does an ant have? Our answer is 6. An ant is an insect, and all insects have 3 different parts of their body: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen, and each of those parts has 2 legs each. So no matter if it's a bee, a beetle, a grasshopper, or an ant, they have 6 legs. Number 3. What are Mustangs and Appaloosa types of? Answer: those are types of horses. There's many breeds of horses. Some of the most famous are the Arabian and the Clydesdale. The Mustang and the Appaloosa are 2 more types. Number 4. What is the heaviest land animal? The answer: the elephant. Specifically, the African elephant can be 13,000 pounds, but it's not the heaviest animal in the world. That title goes to the blue whale that can come in at over 300,000 pounds. The question I was going to ask is, what's the largest land predator in the world? And the answer to that is the polar bear. That's a little confusing because the polar bear hunts in the water. So to avoid getting mixed up, we went with this question instead. I think it was better. Number 5. Which African mammal causes the death of the most people each year? Did you say the lion? Well, it's not. It's the hippopotamus. Hippopotamus may look big and silly, but they're very dangerous. They weigh a lot. They have big mouths and big teeth. About 500 people die each year from hippopotamus. Don't go near them. What animal travels in groups called murders? It's a very ominous name, and the answer is the crow. Crows travel in groups. We call them murders probably because their dark wings make them look sort of scary. They're not the only bird with a creepy name. The raven in a group is called an unkindness. Number 7. On what continent do wild tigers live? The answer is not Africa, it's Asia. Tigers can be found in India, Bangladesh, Russia, Thailand, but nowhere near Africa. Number 8. What type of animal does the American Kennel Club celebrate? The answer, it's a popular one, the dog. The AKC runs the Westminster Kennel Club show amongst many other dog shows that happen every year. Number 9. Why is the echidna unusual for a mammal? The answer, it lays eggs. Most mammals give birth to their young live, but not echidnas, they lay eggs. They're not the only one though. The platypus does too. What scary nickname does the orca have? The answer, the orca is another name for the killer whale. In many Polynesian mythologies, killer whales are murderous creatures, but they're actually not a very big threat to humans at all. Well, in the wild they aren't. In captivity, they have been known to hurt and kill their trainers. But that's probably because having a big animal like that in a small space is always dangerous. Number 11. What can cats do with their claws that dogs can't? The answer, they can retract them. Cats have very sharp claws made for defense, so they can make them come up and back in. Dogs' claws are more for things like digging, so they leave them out all the time. They're not as sharp. Number 12. What venomous snake has a noisy tail to dissuade would-be threats? The answer, the rattlesnake. Why might a rattlesnake need to warn people away? It has poison. It can kill anyone who attacks it. But remember, if the animal attacking it hurts it too, well, that's bad. So might as well just have a rattle that tells people, stay away from me. Number 13. What order of animals includes rats, rabbits, and raccoons? Rats, rabbits, and raccoons are all rodents. The biggest rodent is the capybara. That fellow can come in at about 150 pounds, way bigger than the other rodents. Number 14. What is the body of a skink covered in? Is that a tough question or an easy one? Well, if you know that a skink is a reptile, it's very easy. There's a skink. All reptiles have scales, so skinks do too. Number 15. How often do turtles leave their shells? The answer, never. A turtle's shell is part of its body. Some turtles shed pieces of their shells off, but they never leave them altogether. They can't. Number 16. What creature does a caterpillar turn into? This is probably the easiest question on this trivia. The answer is a butterfly. Unlike humans, which start out as babies and just grow bigger, caterpillars completely metamorphosize, which means to change their body completely, from the caterpillar to the butterfly. Number 17. What class of animals do sharks belong to? The answer? Sharks are fish. Some fish are very small like a goldfish, and some fish are very big like a whale shark, but they're all just fish. They have gills and scales and cold blood. Number 18. What animal almost always appears first in the dictionary? The answer, the aardvark. It is hard to come before an animal whose name starts with 2-letter A's in a row. In fact, in most dictionaries, aardvark is often the first word of all. Number 19. How many bones are in a giraffe's neck? They're long, it must be a lot, right? Well, no. Giraffes have 7 bones in their neck. Just the same as a human being. Their bones are just bigger. Number 20. What can't Basenjis do that other dogs can? The answer, Basenjis can't bark. They call Basenji the barkless dog. But even though it can't bark, it can be very loud. They can howl and squeal and make all other sorts of noises. So don't get a Basenji just because you want quiet. Number 21. What do bats use to see so well in the dark? Have you ever heard the expression blind as a bat? It's not true, but the way bats see so well in the dark is echolocation. Bats use the same idea as radar. They make a sound, and that sound bounces off something and goes back to them. The longer it takes, the farther away it is, so they know where things are. So bats have built-in radar. Number 22. What is it called when animals move long distances seasonally? The answer, migration. When we think of migration, we usually think of birds, but butterflies, whales, and many other animals migrate too. Number 23. What horned animal has a black and a white variety? The answer is the rhinoceros. The black and the white rhinoceros live in Africa, but there's 3 other types as well. The Indian, the Javan, the Sumatran all live in Asia. Many of these species are endangered because people hunt rhinoceros for their horns. Number 24. What lizard, the world's largest, can only be found in Indonesia? The answer is the Komodo dragon. This big fellow not only can only be found in Indonesia, it can only be found on 4 of the over 10,000 islands in Indonesia. It's very rare and very big. Our last question is, what bird is the fastest runner? Not flyer, runner. The answer is the ostrich. Look at those legs. Ostriches can run 40 miles an hour. Not faster than the cheetah, but fast enough to outrun a lot of things. If you watch a lot of Looney Tunes, you might have thought the answer was the Roadrunner. And they are fast. They can go about 20 miles an hour, but there's no way those little legs can keep up with an ostrich. Well, that's it. That was our animal trivia. Animals aren't trivial. I hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to bring more trivia to you online soon. This has been Kevin from the Austin Public Library. Have a good day.